Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to the faculty and staff of the College of Education, to the members of the monitoring and evaluation team, to our honored guest who will be introduced later, to our dear participants, the teachers and students. A pleasant morning to all and welcome to the third and final phase of the webinar series on psychosocial awareness. I am Elisar V. Malikoban, your moderator, now signing on. Should you have any query, please do not hesitate to write it down in the comment section of the YouTube. And to receive a certificate for this webinar, please do not forget to fill out the evaluation form after this session. The link of the form will be posted later in the YouTube comment section. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we are so grateful to have a doctor in the house, and I am so honored to introduce her as our guest speaker of this timely event. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker this morning is an exemplar of excellence. She graduated from high school at the Integrated Developmental School here in MSU-IIT in 1993. She earned her bachelor's degree in medical technology at Cebu Vélez College, Ramos, Cebu in 1998. She was the top 6 graduate at Gulas College of Medicine, Banilad, Mandawi City, Cebu in 2005. She was the only one and non-rotating intern during her postgraduate internship at Mactan Doctors Hospital, Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. She was the chief resident of the Department of Family Medicine, Tunghua Hospital, Puente Osmeña, Cebu. As a diplomate of occupational medicine, she is handling companies in Mactan Export Processing Zone. Aside from practicing family medicine, she also underwent advanced workshop in diabetes care. She was a school physician in St. Alphonsus Catholic School, a physician in Mactan Medical and Dental Center, a junior consultant in Mactan Doctors Hospital at Lapu-Lapu City from 2012 to 2013. At present, she is a school and company physician, being affiliated in several associations in medicine, such as the Institute for Studies on Diabetes Foundation Incorporated, Philippine Medical Women's Association, Philippine College of Occupational Medicine, Philippine Association of Family Physicians, and owns a clinic at Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. Ladies and gentlemen, to talk on self-care, family care, and productivity at work, let us all welcome our speaker for today, Dr. Rosemay D. Kamalungay. Please give her a virtual round of applause.
Thank you, Elisar, for that extensive welcome. And good morning, everyone. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, ma'am, loud and clear.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you, MSU-IIT, College of Medicine, to the Dean, Ami Buwan, especially to the organizing committee and technical staff behind this webinar. And let me take this opportunity to congratulate you for doing a great job for engaging students and teachers in a lively connection with each other during this time of pandemic. Hello, everyone. Hello to the viewers. Will I share my slide now? Okay, I'll share my slide.
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Okay. Can you see my slide clearly?
Yes, ma'am, very clear.
Okay.
You may present it now, ma'am.
Good morning once again. I'm Dr. Rosemay Kamalungay. Thank you for this opportunity of to talk about a very challenging topic of self-care, family care, and productivity in work. It's when you look at the topic, it's simple and understandable, but for me, it's quite challenging because I myself do not even know how to take care of myself. Because it's easy for me to give all my time and attention to others, especially my family, that I tend to treat myself as the least priority. And I think I'm not the only one. There are some of you who also neglect themselves, like, but you know what? Chronic disregard of self or no self care could lead to chronic illnesses, especially chronic non communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, and cancers. But the good thing is it is modifiable or preventable. How? Through lifestyle change, by changing your old bad habits into new healthy habits. So, accepting this top role, this talk, it's a self realization for me that um, no one is ever forcing myself the way I should live my life, and that no one is ever putting all the pressure on me but myself. I can always slow down and decide when to start changing my life the way I want it to be. So these are my learning objectives. I'd like to incorporate or to re-educate everyone on the COVID-19 health and safety protocols. And then the following outline would be defining self-care, its physical, mental, and emotional aspect, the importance of family care in the path of self-improvement, and tips to improve productivity in work or in school. Now, if you belong to the MARP or most at risk population, or these are the uh, persons with pre existing medical conditions, like if you have asthma, diabetes, or you're in a dialysis, or hypertension, or stroke, you are at risk of getting COVID 19 infection than others. So you have the privilege to a work from home arrangement, or you have to not only only the mark, but in general, we should follow safety and health protocols, especially uh, like wearing face mask and face shield when interacting with other people, frequent sanitation with hand of the hands and the surfaces, keep distance of at least 6 feet or 2 meters, and we should follow public health guidelines like in the bus or paying the bills. Let us not loosen our belt yet because the COVID-19 pandemic has not yet ended. So if you go out, let me remind you again, don't forget to sanitize. If you go to the grocery, sanitize what you are holding, sanitize your hands, and it's better to bring your own grocery bag. And if you go to the grocery, bring a list so that it won't take you long inside the grocery, and do not frequently touch your face mask. When you go home, see to it that you're still practicing this, like disinfecting your footwear and leaving it outside your grocery. You have to disinfect first before bringing it inside your house. Wash your hand properly for 20 seconds with soap and water. And there are items that you can disinfect with alcohol, and there are items that you disinfect with running water and a little bit of liquid soap. And don't forget to sanitize also the things you brought from outside, like your cell phone, your wallets, and your bags. Again, if you have online orders from Lazada and Shopee, leave the box outside, um, open it, unwrap it, and disinfect the inside and leave the box outside. Always disinfect your frontage with water, and you can use your used laundry um, water, which already have soap, and sanitize the surfaces of your house that frequently touch, like the doorknobs, the switch, the remote control, and even in your when you're in school, in your work, before you start the day, you sanitize your table, your mouse, your laptop. And then also don't forget to sanitize your car. You can first sanitize the tires because um, the road, we can get the droplets also from the road, and then sanitize the seat that you are sitting, the steering wheel, and the handles of the car. But if you have these symptoms like fever, cough, colds, which is common, sore throat, tiredness, or even just headache, you go home and stay home. Also, some rare symptoms are body pain, diarrhea, redness of the eyes, loss of taste, and loss of smell. So, just because you had only one or two episodes of diarrhea, still go to work, it's better to go home, stay home, and observe. And then when you're at home, you have to isolate yourself in a separate room. But if that you don't have separate room and you're joining with other family members, you have to be 2 meter distant from other family members and do not share linens. If you have other persons in the room, you wear mask. And as much as possible, do not eat together with them. You have to eat separately, and your utensils, you have to have a separate utensils. And then while you are promptly isolated, there should be contact tracing. Contact tracing is recalling your the person you have encountered for the past 2 days prior the onset of your symptoms. And also, we will track your activities 2 weeks prior the onset of symptoms. So the definition of close contact is face-to-face interaction more than 15 minutes and within 1 meter. So if you don't want to be part of the close contact wherein you undergo no work, no pay, better not interact with others more than 15 minutes within 1 meter, or uh, interacting without PPE like the mask. So that is why mass gathering should be avoided, because when you eat in a social gathering, you will remove your mask. And when you just talk, droplets will just travel within 1 meter, 1 to 2 meters. But if you laugh, so it will travel more than 6 meters. And then I don't think mass gathering will just last within 15 minutes. So let's not loosen our belt yet, because the pandemic has not yet ended. So just cooperate. Let's help each other. Let's help break the chain of transmission, so that we can do this if we cooperate with each other. Next topic would be self-care. Self-care describes a conscious act one takes in order to promote their own physical, mental, and emotional health. So if it is a conscious act, it means that it's a voluntary decision that one takes in order to have better health and well-being. So let's discuss one by one physical, mental, and emotional aspects of self-care. Physical aspect would be basic, the adequate sleep, proper diet, and physical exercise. This is the top three. And the most important is sleep because sleep, having a good quality sleep will also promote your mental health, physical health, your safety, and quality of life. Equally important is adequate hydration. Drinking adequate water is crucial. It's crucial for our health. It will regulate our body temperature. It will keep our joints lubricated, prevent infection. It will help deliver nutrients to the cells and keep the organs functioning properly. Being well hydrated also improves quality of sleep. So that is why for my patients, I always encourage them to drink water every 2 hours and to check the color of their urine. If it's dark, you need to drink more water. During this pandemic, it is good that it is it is best to take daily vitamins or reliable supplements. And if you have existing medical illness, we have to comply. Take our maintenance medication daily, quit smoking, and avoid alcohol because it will lower the immune system. And we have to do regular medical checkup to check if we have reached the target or we are in control of our illness. So if you have problem with your sleep, I recommend to you to read this book, The Power of When by Michael Bruce. And it explained that we have different types of personalities and we have different types of sleep. And it doesn't, uh, don't be anxious if you haven't slept for 8 hours because we have different kinds of sleeping patterns. So you can read this book. And then the WHO also give tips to be healthy, like eating a healthy diet, physical exercise, get vaccinated. During this pandemic, we need flu shots and pneumococcal shots. All of your family should be given that shot. And avoid quitting smoking, avoiding alcohol, stress management. I'm sorry. And then they include safety tips like don't drink and drive, don't speed, wearing a seat belt or helmet when driving a motorcycle, practicing safe sex. And they also include breastfeeding is good in colostrum is good in protecting us from COVID-19. Also, to achieve total health and wellness, we have to have these elements: socially healthy, physically healthy, intellectually healthy, emotionally healthy, spiritually healthy, environmentally healthy, financially healthy, and occupationally healthy. So without if you take away one slice of this element, you cannot be whole. So being whole is important because if you feel whole, you don't need constant validation from others. You don't need acceptance from others. You don't even have to define yourself. You are just contented of existing, and it's just in a state of also in a state of mind, be having a healthy mind, body, and soul. So next discussion would be the mental and emotional aspect of self care. I just joined mental and emotional aspect because our brain controls our emotion. So, um, so that is why the heart is inside your brain in this picture because our brain controls our emotion. So if our brain and our emotions are not aligned with each other, there is a struggle within us. And the worst battle is between what you know and what you feel. So let's do the, one exercise. Let's imagine. Let's imagine it's just you and me talking, and then I ask you a question. How are you? How do you feel about your health? Physically, mentally, and emotionally. How are you? Are you okay? We know that it's okay not to be okay, but are you really okay not to be okay? So imagine your mind. Imagine your mind it's a box or a vessel full of emotions and notions. And then it is scattered and in disarray. How do you feel about this picture? And then let's try to unfold every notion and emotions in our mind. And in the process, you pick each and acknowledge it as part of you being you. And you don't discard it. You just pick all and put it back in an orderly manner. And then you create a harmonious and beautiful mind. Everything that happened to you creates you. It's up to you how to place it well in our lives. To apply also our experiences to for self improvement. So this is unfolding and recreating. So next step after you arrange your thoughts, cleared your thoughts. Maybe you have uh, forgive yourself, and the next step would be taking off your mask because life is about being real. So be yourself, accept yourself, listen to your thoughts, respect your feelings, and do not judge yourself. So you have to forgive yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just be kind to yourself. After being truthful and kind to yourself, know yourself. Know your abilities and capabilities, and also know your limitations. With that, you should know how to set boundaries. You should know your needs, like when to take a break, when to pamper yourself, and you should know your values because you know your abilities and capabilities. Once you know that, you know your worth, know what you deserve. And I like this image. It's self-care is not selfish. And because I used to think that self-care is selfish. So I really appreciate that I accept this talk because this is a self-realization for me. So yeah, what the way you think will determine how you feel, and it will influence how you act. So it's always all in the mind. So whatever the circumstance, that is influencing your thoughts and your emotions and your actions, whatever it is, just make it positive. Always cultivate good thoughts and remain positive. Because whatever you believe becomes your reality. So what you perceive, you will achieve. That is why we have to maintain also a good mental health. Because the moment you discover your power to enhance yourself, self-care, and realign the circumstances around you towards your favor, is the moment you give yourself the opportunity to recreate your life. So um, from this moment, I want to recreate my life too. So I hope I convince you also to recreate your life, clear your mind, improve yourself, and as well as your health. Next would be family care. Family is a very important, indispensable, has an indispensable role to play in our health and happiness. This is why it is imperative to nurture a loving relationship with your parents, siblings, and children in order to lead a life filled with happiness, zeal, and never ending bliss. So, um, there is nothing that a person won't be able to overcome with the help and guidance of a loving family. Even if there is gap in your family relationship, you just reach out. Set aside personal differences and reach out because we need each other. During your ups and downs, your family can help you deal with stressful or important life issues in a positive and empowering way. The family is where you turn to for support and guidance in order to rise back up and overcome the challenges ahead. Family care is an important component of your path to self improvement. It can help every mind flourish and lead a positive lifestyle. You are not necessarily born good. You are molded and sculpted to be good by your surroundings and circumstances with careful guidance from a loving family. Now that I have discussed family care and self care, then let's learn tips about productivity in work and school. So, how to be productive? The challenge is we have a lot to do in so little time, and the target is near, and everything is draining our mind, draining our body, and disturbing our emotions. So the first step is to get started. Just get it started. List down all the things, and we have to classify that are the things that needs to be done according to the importance and urgency, using the Eisenhower matrix. Like, for the most important thing and the most urgent thing, do it now. And for important things that not so urgent, you have to plan it ahead. But for urgent things, but not that important, and you have to use all your resources. You have to delegate things so that you have time to do the important and urgent things. But for tasks that is not important and not urgent, you have to eliminate it. So we have to focus on the most important thing first. And it is important that you have a list you have a notebook, because once you write it in your notebook, you just it's like telling the universe what to do for tomorrow, and the circumstance will just open, and then the situation will lead you to what you expect. But there are times that um, it's the other way around. There's a supreme being that's in control. So we have to acknowledge our plan, submit all our plan to God, because He can make things happen, and whatever that is not happening is just His way to protect us. So also we need to focus on one task, and it is suggested that we should not multitask, but that's my problem because I usually do multitasking. So we have to focus so that uh, our effort will be less with more results. This is the 20-80 rule or 80-20 rule. So avoid doing stressful activities where you can do it in an effortless or less effort. So that is why um, sometimes we need to take a break and to recharge our mind so that we can do more. Like you can every 15 minutes, every 1 hour, every 2 hours, or every topic, you need to have a break time. You can stretch your muscles, or you maybe you need a super nap, or you want to go out to lunch to improve your circulation. And also ergonomic plays a role in productivity. So check check your posture. If you're doing the correct sitting on a correct posture, like this is the uh, ergonomic uh, way of sitting, wherein the curvature is supported, the upper back and in the lower back. Do not slouch. And then also check your desk. If the height of your chair is appropriate for you, so your chair should be adjustable so that your feet is flat on the floor and it's not hanging, and your thigh should be horizontal and not also bended or hanging. Your back should be supported. Your shoulders should be relaxed. Your arms should be around 90 degrees with an arm rest. Your table should be adequate in height. And this is most important, your distance from the monitor. This will cause eye strain, headache, neck pain, tiredness of the arms and shoulders. It should be 18 to 24 inches from you, and the upper border of the monitor should be level with your eyebrows. Okay? So ergonomics plays a role in productivity. And when you're exposed to prolonged you have prolonged exposure to the screen, you should follow the 20-20-20 rule. It means you have to take breaks. Every 20 minutes, you look 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. You look for something plain, like plain white or green, or you can look outside. Just count 20 seconds, then return back to your computer. And while watching your screen, you have to blink frequently to lubricate your eyes to avoid dry, dryness and irritation. Also, sitting is the new smoking. So it means that prolonged sitting have a health risk equivalent to the health risk when you're smoking. So if you are a student or a teacher, you are prone to sit for long. So the advice would be this uh, take frequent breaks. Like this is the explanation. In the study, prolonged sitting can have a greater risk of diabetes, hypertension, and other all-cause mortality. So, uh, for the break, it is recommended that every 30 minutes, you stand up, stretch your legs, just 1 to 2 minutes. With this, it will reduce our sitting time. It will reduce to 40 minutes per day lessen your sitting time. So, in other companies, every 2 hours we have, like in my company, we have exercise for 1 minute, and the exercise should be accompanied with music, and then we circulate our joints and stretch our tense muscles. But productivity is less about what you do with your time. It's more about how you run your mind. So we need to organize everything also in order to be productive. And then the opposite of productivity is procrastination. So procrastination also is in our mind. So to do that, to just get started, and you to avoid procrastinating, you set a time frame, like I have to do this task within this day and this task for another day, and so that you can do tasks you can do things productively. So having discussed self-care, family care, and productivity at work, before you have to love yourself first in order to be whole, and then family care is important for your self improvement, and then we we being equipped with those knowledge, you apply this in your work or in school. So the best project you'll ever work on is you. So whatever project you work on, be the best version of yourself. And during that process, just enjoy the process, and also trust the process. So I hope I will wake you up and make up your mind. Thank you for listening. Hello.
Thank you, ma'am, for that informative talk.
Thank you.
Requesting the audience, the participants, the viewers to please feel free to write down your questions in the comment section. Your questions will be recognized.
Okay, before we read our we go today, we read our questions. We would like to thank Dr. Rose May for accepting our invitation despite her busy schedule.
Yeah.
This is a personal favor because we knew each other personally since elementary. Okay, Sir Eleazar, would you like to start with the first question?
Ma'am, we have a question here. The question goes like this. Is it true that the feeling of unworthiness is the biggest impediment to our own self-care? How do we manage the feeling of unworthiness?
Yeah, it's really, really true. So you cannot do self care if you don't feel worthy. You don't. You should know your value. You should know how to. You should know what you deserve, because if you don't know your value, you don't feel worthy. So um, it's a process that you need to do in time. You will achieve that feeling. You have to go back. You have to dig in inside yourself. Like, you have to unfold everything, acknowledge everything that it's part of you. You can recreate your life to make a beautiful you. And before that, you have to also go back to the um, uh, to your the relationship, severed relationship. You have to mend it and start forgiving others, forgive yourself, so that you will just uh, just be real. Acknowledge that you have that emotions, you have that feeling of unworthiness, and then decide decide to do something about yourself, because no one can ever help yourself but yourself. Everything, your friends, your family are just there to support, but it's really you who will really pick up the pieces and make yourself whole.
Yes, ma'am, I also agree with that. For me, it starts with yourself. You need to know yourself. You need to understand yourself first because for me also, I believe that what you believe is what you will become, right, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah,
I think you just don't need to fully engage about it. And once you do it, it will not just become a goal, it will become a practice, right?
yeah. If we believe that we're beautiful, then we become beautiful.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I would also like to reinforce the answer of Sir Eleazar. These webinars are a form of awareness, um, an informational support from the College of Education. So, which will help you become more aware of knowing who you really are, or if not, if you already know who you are, you can identify your strengths and weaknesses. Sir Eleazar, you have another question?
Okay, one question here, ma'am. The question goes like this. Can you give us examples of being positive? Because there is an existing norm of toxic positivity. How do we know that you are positive but not toxic?
Okay. In every situation you are in, you should always look at the bright side, and you should avoid negative thoughts to enter your mind, because that negative thoughts will influence the way you feel and will influence the way you act. So, like for example, um, you're in this pandemic. You lose job because they're cross cutting. So if you look at the bright side, you have you have time for your family, time to take care of yourself, time to do the things that you want to do, like um, cleaning the house, discarding all old unused things, or being a plantita. taking care of the plants. Always look at you. Always be grateful whatever you're in or whatever you have, because and also you have to strengthen your faith. Like everything happens for a reason, and God will never leave you nor forsake you. Everything that happened to us is to protect us and not to harm us. So if we trust God, if we have faith, we don't have to question. We just trust the process. You just you just don't need to look at the bad things that happen to you. You just um you just believe that you're gonna be okay, that we're in good hands, we're in the good hands if we just pray always.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you,
thank you, ma'am.
Doc Rose. We have here a question from the audience from Sir Norhan Kudarat Official. I can't sleep properly due to too much thinking of many things. How can I sleep well, especially since there are a lot of things bothering me? The
Yeah, so
question is, this person has a difficulty sleeping because of thinking a lot of thoughts.
yeah, that is that is a very common problem, especially during this pandemic. We have, because we are always worried of our current situation, worried of our future. So sometimes it's draining all our energy, our draining our brain, our body is weakened because of that. So we have to acknowledge that we are powerless and hopeless without God. So what we do, we just give up. We just surrender. Surrender everything, not a little or a part. Surrender everything to God, your life, your job, your worries. Just let go. Let go and let God. Bahala na si Lord, like that attitude. Like you just let go and let God, because only God can give you uh peace, the peace that the world cannot give, cannot explain the peace. So uh one technique is to strengthen your relationship to God, that you leave nothing for yourself. You don't rely on your own capabilities, your own understanding. You just rely everything to God. Just let go and let God. And then about sleep, it's not really having that 8 hour sleep. We have different kinds of it's what is important is you have good quality of sleep, even if it's just 4 hours or it's just super nap, as long as it is of good quality, it has recharged you, then that's okay. And then we have also medicines to help you, because if you have no sleep for 3 days, it will affect your functioning. It will affect your productivity, your mood. So you can always go to the consult a doctor and ask for a sleeping pill that works for you, because not all sleeping pill work for same the same for one individual. So you can also want to share everything, all your thoughts out to a friend, so that it will lessen the burden.
Aspect, and we also have social support, which can help to cope with your difficult sleep, how difficulty in sleeping. I guess also, Doc Rose, because of the COVID pandemic, it's a normal reaction to what is happening. That's why there are many who are agitated, who are anxious, or who are sad. And in our perspective in the social science, these are normal reactions to the pandemic. And I guess one thing to be added here is that maybe you ought to validate your fear, identify if your fear is coming from a try to evaluate if, for example, when you go to outside of the home and go to the grocery, and then when you come home, you are anxious and oh, I might contract COVID. But try to validate that, like what Doc Rose said, that 15 minutes of close contact, then you might want to consider if especially if you have symptoms, then you might want to observe yourself. So I guess that's one, validate your fear and then accept that what you are experiencing now are normal reactions. And sometimes stress also aggravates your how you react to stress. So today is a stressful time and it might aggravate your stressful reactions. So it's important to seek support and to have that form of religious coping.
Yeah.
We have
And
here another question.
I want to add to that, G. Um, it's an opportunity for you to make that every negative circumstances or feelings into a positive one, like because of your anxiety. It's to make it positive. You are more cautious in what you do outside to help yourself get protected. So that's also one way to make things positive. Like
Okay, I
if
have
you have the situations like if it's stressing you out, to make it positive, you have to strengthen your social, enhance your social relationship, reconnect with your friends. So that's the one way of making it positive.
okay. Thank you, Doc Rose. I have here another question from Paini Junior Manao. I think we need to develop a positive mindset, but how? I read a lot of books, but I am confused already. So the question is, how do we develop a positive mindset?
Yeah, it's always better said than done because the struggle that we need to fix us is within ourselves. So don't worry. It will take time for you to develop the technique to be positive. But use this knowledge, the knowledge that you read from the book and the advices you hear from your friend, and try to apply it in your life. And it's not easy. No one ever said it's easy. Just trust the process that you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be improving yourself little by little. It doesn't need to be immediate.
Okay, so it's be patient with yourself, Paini. Um, in addition to what Doc Rose said, I guess we also need to acknowledge our negative emotions. What Sir Eliasar said earlier about toxic positivity, it's not just uh, not being able to acknowledge the negative emotions. We also need to acknowledge or not to dismiss our negative emotions that we are feeling this way. I am aware that I am angry. I am aware that I am worried. So take a moment to feel those emotions and let it sink in, and be patient with yourself until you are logical and you are rational and you are thinking what makes you feel those emotions. And then you reflect. We have here another question from teacher Shane. Hello, mom. What do I do in time of breakdown as a mother and as a teacher at the same time? Working from home without any helper is exhausting and makes me less productive.
So, thank you for that question because I feel you. We are so much the same. What I do is just um, my advice would be don't be too hard on yourself. Like if you cannot do things all at once, or you cannot handle things by your own, then don't handle it. Leave it
Yes.
just like that. You've done everything. What you did is enough for the day. Don't don't the only one who's pressuring you is yourself. So like for example, uh, the one that will add burden with to our task with, for me, for my task is the online class. Like if I cannot answer the the question or the assignment my child is asking, I just say if they don't know the right answer, I just say, then leave it wrong or do not answer. It's okay. You can learn from your wrongs, your from the mistakes. You can learn. So if you do not know the answer, just leave it blank. Or yeah, the deadline is near and you haven't prepared, then if that if it's already time and still you haven't prepared, then well, you just um, leave it the way it is, because as long as you've done everything, it's your you should know also your limitation, and as well as you know your capabilities and abilities, and as long as you did everything, uh, you're not procrastinating, so that is enough. Yes, let's just not force ourselves to be to meet the standards or the expectations of others. Just be real.
Okay, thank you, Doc Rose. Teacher Shane, we feel you. We are working mothers, no? And it's okay to break down, to cry in a in a corner, no, in a place where your children cannot see you, or if your children can see you, and then they might ask, "What's wrong, ma?" or "What's wrong, mommy?" You just say na, "I feel tired, no, I feel stressed." Sometimes what I do as well, no, just to share to everyone, I also share it to my children that I'm tired, and sometimes the children also helps out. No? And then you also get to thank your children. And I guess what's important here is to name what you are feeling. Okay? Why you are breaking down. You say that it could be I'm really stressed out, and to also if you cannot share this difficulty with your spouse, no, it's also better to have social support. Then you can share it with friends, no? You can express it with friends, or just what you are doing now. You're sharing it with us, and you are expressing it, expressing your difficulty. I guess no one has it easy. No, we have it in various difficulties, and we just take things one at a time, slowly and consistently. We do, as what Doc Rose said, we don't have to be too hard on ourselves. I guess I appreciate you having to acknowledge that you are a mother and a teacher, and I felt that you have this sense of responsibility, and it's the fact that you are acknowledging your difficulty is one step to doing something about your difficulty. Okay, I guess the next thing for that is to reach out to your social support.
Yeah.
Sir Ellie, do you have another question?
I have an
Yeah.
addition to that, G. So,
Yes.
regarding productivity, sometimes we need to make two steps backward in order to make, uh, you need to take one step backward in order to make two steps forward. So it means that if we pause for a while, acknowledge our feeling, acknowledge that we're tired, and we just um, give ourselves a break, then after that, we can be more productive.
One question here from Teacher Evie. Good morning, Teacher Evie. So this is her question. Is it okay to always ignore negativity when they said to face your problems? Because, ma'am, I tend to self-isolate.
From my talk, it is important to acknowledge every feeling, every emotion, every notion, because it what makes you, it what makes you real. And you just have to know how to deal with it to make your to fix your life and not to destroy your life. So that's what also making things positive. Every negative things make it positive, like your negative emotions, you use it as a baseline for you to enhance that, to become a better version of yourself. So acknowledge your emotion. It's one way of self-realization and accepting. And then after that, you have to forgive yourself, not be too hard on yourself, and just be kind to yourself.
Yes, ma'am, I agree with that. It's good to look onto your positive side, but for me also it would be better to also look on your negative side because
Yeah.
those two sides give balance to your life.
Yes.
Ma'am, one more question from teacher Anne. Good morning, ma'am. How can I not do procrastinating given that I feel sleepy every time?
Yeah. Hi, Mom Ann. Of course, if we procrastinate because we choose sleep, you feel guilty. But I don't think it's procrastinating, it's prioritizing. Because you can't be productive if you lack sleep. Because sleep is plays a very important role in our entire life. So we should have sleep is just like our body is like a cell phone that needs to be charged. So we need sleep to be functioning well. So sleeping and delaying all the things that needs to be done is not for me procrastinating. It's prioritizing sleep so that you can be more productive.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am Anne has a follow-up question. Is it normal for me that I feel productive every time the deadline is closer?
Yeah, because what works for you may not work for others, and what works for others may not work for you. If you're that type of person that um, uh, you are more productive when the deadline is close, then you're like me. But for others, they really need a ample time to prepare.
Yes, ma'am. What motivates you to finish your task? The answer is deadline.
Yeah.
Joke.
Doc Rose, I have a follow-up question about sleep. What is the considered as good sleep quality? How many number of hours?
So there's no definite number of hours to define as quality of sleep. So because we have different kinds of personalities. Some people are more productive and intellectually alive during nighttime, and and um, and they cannot be productive during the day, the following day, if they haven't um, do this a night before, do things a night before. So there are people who are like that. So their sleeping pattern would be uh, 2, 3 a.m. and then they just wake up around 8 a.m. Even it's just 4 to 5 hours sleep, as long as your mind is cleared before sleeping because you did everything preparation for the following day. Or there are some people who are who gets easily drained, like they sleep early at 9 p.m. and they have struggle initiating sleep, and some people can sleep early but they have struggle in maintaining sleep. So if it's really bothering you, there are medicine that will help you get your sleeping pattern.
Okay,
Okay.
one last question about sleep. Is it good, Doc Rose, that is it true rather that from 10 p.m. to 12, that is where melatonin is produced, and melatonin, I have read, is good for immunity.
Yeah, but there are uh, factors that will influence the melanin production, like sunlight,
Melanin.
temperature, also, and also your emotions will affect the
Mm,
melatonin levels.
Ma'am, to end this session, one more question from my friend. Uh, Ma'am, I feel I'm being toxic to myself and to others. What can I do?
So if you feel being toxic, you have to others and to yourself, you have to identify what's causing that toxicity. So maybe there's a hidden feeling, emotion that you just deny. You just deny because it's negative, or you just don't want to dig into it. So you have to sometimes some people need to go back to their childhood, um, go back to old grudges, and then that is one way of clearing up your mind, your emotions. So that is why forgiving is important. Forgiving self, forgiving others is important. We have to be whole. We have to be whole.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am
Uh,
G.
yes, before I turn the floor to our moderator, we would like to thank the participants of our webinar series, especially those who have consistently attended the 3 webinar series. These webinars are a form of informational support, considering that mental health is just as important and as physical health. So thank you so much to our participants and to all our resource speakers. Thank you so much, Doc Rose, Rose May. I'm very honored that you accepted my invitation despite your busy schedule. So back to you,
You're
Sir
very
Ellie.
much welcome.
Yes, ma'am. We are so honored to have you this morning. And at this point, let us award a certificate to our guest speaker for today's webinar. Let me read the citation. Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology and College of Education would like to award the Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Rosemay D. Kamalungay for her knowledge and expertise as resource speaker during the webinar entitled Self-Care, Family Care, and Productivity in Work or School via said MSU-IIT Facebook Live on November 19, 2020, given this 19th of November 2020. Signed, Amelia T. Buwan, PhD, the Dean of the College of Education, and Sukarno D. Tanggol, DPA, Chancellor, MSU-IIT. Congratulations, and thank you so much, Dr. Rosemay D. Kamalungay, for that very informative talk and for answering the questions.
Thank you
Let's
to
give our speaker a virtual round of applause. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, don't leave yet. At this point, we shall proceed to the closing of the program. To finally conclude this three-part webinar series on psychosocial awareness, please help me welcome our active and very supportive Assistant Dean of the College of Education, Assistant Professor Oswardo Pabatang Jr. Sir.
Hello, good morning. Padunggan ako, sir.
loud
Yes, sir,
Can you
loud
hear
and
me?
clear.
To our distinguished resource speaker, Dr. Rosmay Kalamungay. To our Dean, Dr. Amelia Buwan, who is on official travel today. To the members of the NFLEX Monitoring and Evaluation Committee, headed by Assistant Professor Geraldine Go. To all our viewers in this webinar, good morning to all of you. Today, we have learned again a lot through our resource speaker, Dr. Rosemay, on how to take care of ourselves, our family, in order to increase our productivity in the workplace. This is the last of the three series of webinars organized by the College of Education NFLEX Committee on Monitoring and Evaluation. This is our commitment to help our faculty and staff and to the teachers out there in order to sustain our mental health and physical health in this time of pandemic. On behalf of the College Dean, I would like to thank the MSU-IIT administration for supporting this endeavor. I also thank the resource persons from the first webinar until today in our last webinar, especially to Dr. Rosemay Kalamungay for the generosity of your time and energy extended to the College of Education. We will be forever grateful to you, ma'am, for this rare opportunity. To all our viewers from day one until today, especially to our faculty and staff, thank you for your support. To our ABMC team, headed by Dr. Consolacion, the coordinator, to Eric and Elmi, our technical staff, thank you for assuring that this webinar will be done smoothly. Lastly, to the members of the said NFLEX Monitoring and Evaluation team, headed by Assistant Professor Geraldine Go, their committee chairperson, to Elasar Malikuban, the vice chairperson, to the members, Ms. Michelle Perolino, Assistant Professor J. Rowell Semilia, Ma'am Harlene Umpok, Ma'am Vanessa Zabala, Sir Neil Lasta, Ma'am John Nalagkasan, and Dr. Douglas Salazar. We hope to see you again in the next series of webinar. Thank you, and once again, good morning.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, this is an opportunity despite the pandemic. But before we leave, I would like to remind once again the participants to fill out the evaluation form. The link is already posted in the comment section of the YouTube. Ma'am Rosemay, the participants are asking, How can they be able to reach you for consultation? Do you
Um,
have a contact number?
yes, I'm available for online consultation by appointment, or if I have time, I just reply. You just search Dr. Rosemay Kamalungay in Facebook, and there's you just click send message, and you can send me a message, and I'll just reply whenever I can. And these are the my contact numbers. Did I share it? Not yet. I will share for a while. Sorry.
Sure, ma'am.
Uh, can you see the screen already?
Not yet, ma'am.
Not yet. For a while. Share. How about this one?
Yes, ma'am. We can now see it.
Okay. So you just search my name in Facebook, and you can send a message.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The doctor is online. Thank you, Dr. Rosemay D. Kamalungay. Before we end this session, I would like to leave this beautiful quotation from Kathy Reed about self-care. Self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. So in behalf of the monitoring and evaluation team and the College of Education, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all the participants, especially to our dear guest speaker and the viewers of this webinar series on psychosocial awareness. God bless us all and see you soon for the next webinars in the future. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank